Hey guys, Cloudwolf here, and I'm back today with another episode of how to build an adventure map. Woohoo! I don't know how I'm gonna get enthusiastic about that. Anyway, guys, thanks for thanks for all the support you guys have given me on at least this series and a lot of my other ones. I had a ton of people put comments in the video that were like, make part 3, or like giving me suggestions on what to do in part 3, and just some questions about how to make an adventure map, and I will address every single one you guys put in the comments that has to do with how to make an adventure map. So this video, as suggested, is going to cover a little bit more of the commands-wise instead of builds-wise, and I probably won't have too many build lapses. So I'm going to get on with tip number 1. Tip number 1 is use Minecraft JSON to create a book, and boom, my screen is automatically out of the proportion. So go to minecraftjson.com and I have a link to it in one of my videos. There we go. Now my computer screen, because I actually use a smaller recording screen to make it fit. Anyway, so go to book, go to this one and put brackets, and then type the name of a building that you know you want, space, make it, I'm going to make it gold. There we go. And click event, run command, /tp at p x space y space z. Do that. Then make another one, mine, like that. Make it a different color. Run command, /tp at p x space y space z. And I also have one more that's redstone, like this. And then red. And then /tp at p x space y space z. Okay, so this is what I do for a lot of my command block stuff, and it's mainly just to help me get around the map more. So you just copy that command, go into here, give at p command block, like so, and you're gonna actually need this for this episode. I'm gonna need to use a command block. Anyway, so this is not necessarily a step in the command blocking and like this step you can do whenever you want. I tend to do this step, which is just like I call command blocking and whatnot. I tend to do this step kind of when I finish building an area. I do the command blocks necessary. So I probably would have done them a little earlier with this area, but I decided not to because I didn't know exactly what I wanted to go on. But I do know now. So what we're going to do is, here's a mine shaft, a little mine shaft. Players are going to spawn in it. They had a bunch of stuff, some diamonds, some stone, and they're coming out of the mine shaft and they're like, man, can't wait to get home. And it's going to be late in the middle of the night. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here. I'm going to break down like this. And then I'm going to type /fill, tilde, 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 tilde. Then I'm going to go -20, -20, and sorry if Steam stuff comes up. Let me close that real quick. And then 20, and then 20, and then -20, and then air. And that is too big, so let me make it 10. Let's just make it go down 10. That's a lot easier. Okay, so now we have a ginormous hole, and this is why in a lot of my adventure maps, well, one of my adventure maps, and in another one just as a joke, I put this little hole here that says command center, do not enter. And people thought, oh, here's an Easter egg. Let's jump down into the command center and kill ourselves, because, you know, killing ourselves is just the best thing to do. And seriously, it's not. But anyway, down here we have our command center. And I'm going to make this do -1 instead. Type in glowstone, like so. And then I'm going to go up here, and I'm going to do the same thing. And now we have a layer of glowstone, so we can see very well. And this is going to become important. This room here is going to become very important. So I'm going to go up here, drop straight down. This is just something I did literally just like 2 days ago when I was working on my map. Control V, enter. Then put a button on the ground and name this teleport book. Teleport book. There we go. Then hit F3. Get the coordinates, -73, 45, 280. Control AC. Okay. Now go over here. This is where the redstone is. Hit you can make sure just by looking for where it says Redstone and then going to the right of it, and the first TP command is going to be the correct one. And then click this, and you have your book, and when you click here, you'll teleport here. And that's how you know it works. So this is important so you can just get back to your spawn. So put this in like slot 9, that's where I keep it. Or you can put it in your offhand slot, I guess. Yeah, okay, it doesn't take precedent, but I don't really like it. It looks kind of ugly in your offhand slot. I'm going to keep it right there. But if you want to, you can feel free to do that. Okay, so now I'm going to start the text, and I don't know how you guys like to start your text chains, but I like to start my text, I call it a text chain. So this is what I call a text chain. So I do /summon armor stand tilde tilde tilde, and do not, if you guys actually like know stuff, a lot of stuff about commands and stuff like that, or make maps yourself, I mean, I guess you can put in the comments, but this is just the way I do it. Do not criticize me too harshly for doing this. So I summoned a armor stand tag of text, and then invulnerable 1 just in case. Oh, there we go. Okay, so now I'm going to place a command block right here, and this is where a lot of people, I get a lot of criticism from my fellow map makers or whatnot about how I do this, but I do this on, I started doing this on 60-minute maps, and it worked out there, so I decided to use it on regular maps. So yeah, so we have a armor stand here, and this right here, so hit F3, and I'm going to go here, and it looks like I'm moving negative in the Z direction if you look here, so that's where I'll base my new command, so that's why I brought this up. Change this to Terra, close all these, create a new text that says selector at P, make it green, there we go, then create a new one, which is an arrow space green, and I don't mind if you guys use this for yours setup, I guess, but yeah, this is just the way I do it, and it works really well. So I'm going to type, man, that was a long day's worth of... You know what, I'm going to fast forward this part, guys. I'm just going to do a couple text things, and I'll get back to you. And you guys will see it at the end, what all the text is, but it's not very important for me to show it to you, and it's cutting in all my video time that I want to do. So anyway, so I'll get back to you. Okay, so I'm back and I made the text, and as you can see, it just goes like this. Hold on, let me just initiate it. And it says, man, that was a long days of work in Minecraft. I can't wait to get back home and store all this stuff. Tip, follow the gravel pathway home. So I'm going to teleport the armor back here. Tag text to FP. And it's basic how it's working. It uses, I just added a line here that's like tip, but it has run command /TP understand up to and -2. And I'm just going to copy, so just this is another tip for you guys. Once you create the text for the player, one text for the player and one text for somebody else talking, which in this map there is not that many other people talking. But once I come across it, I'm going to create one text line for somebody else talking. I'm just going to copy and paste it, and I can alter it using this, where it changes the color, so it changes to, say, green or yellow, depending on who's talking, and just change the line of text inside. It's a lot easier, because a lot of times, this will save your commands. Like, it'll save this if I close the page and open it again. But if I change it, it won't save it, so I can't go back. So, if I ever want to make other commands, anyway, so this is going to go along the line, and if I want to utilize the same full x-axis, x-line, this is a line on the x-axis. If I want to use it again, I just have to make sure that I can only use it one more time, and it has to be spaced out oddly or evenly, or however you would say it. So if the thing is teleported 1-2 blocks, it can't activate the command block again. And I won't use it right this second. So that tells the player, so now we have, and I will move it from this one down. That tells the player to, man, it's been a long day, follow the gravel path home. The gravel pathway home. So they follow the gravel pathway home, they walk in here, go inside, there we go. So now we have to have a way to to detect when the player gets here. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit F3, negative 91, 65, 264. So that's the coordinates right where I'm standing. So I'm going to go back to the command center, and I'm also going to set that as the home. So I'm going to go in here, copy these commands, go over to where it says that's Redstone. So there's mine, and I know this is going to be the home. So house. Then I'm going to go to the right as far as I can until I find the first teleport coordinates, delete them, replace them, and get a new book. This one will give me the house when I click it. Yes, okay. So now I'm going to, and actually just because for personal reasons, you guys, this has nothing to do with how I'm showing you how to do things, but I'm just going to change this by 1, like that. Okay. Anyway, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to set up a separate thing. So this side is for the text, and what I do is I pick one side for the text, one side for the commands, and the way chunk loading works, so you're going to come over here and you're going to set the spawn chunks right here. So you're going to do /set world spawn. There's a fancy new command in the new snapshot that actually shows you the chunks and the chunk data. And hopefully it'll show you what's a spawn chunk, maybe highlighted in green. That'd be a cool idea. But in the spawn chunks, which is relatively this big, it's a little bigger than this probably, all things are permanently loaded. So if I have a command block running, it'll always run no matter where I am in the world. So that's why I set one specific command center to the spawn. Then I'm going to, I'll break a hole in the wall to save some space and get out, and this is the classic repeater clock. So this is a classic slow-ish clock, which works just fine. And then I'm going to have one command block here, and I'm going to use this clock for a lot of different things, so I'm going to be using it a lot of times. So go here, /test4 at A, put those coordinates, put commas, like so, and put a comma for 1 as well, and just like that. Then you put a redstone repeater. So this is just to test if a player is on basically the doorstep. Then take this, figure out this is -1 /set block tilde 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 -1 air. So this deletes the comparator. And then I'm going to put one here and put a redstone dust on top so it powers this one as well. Actually, let me change this. Move it over 1 just to make sure, because comparators only have 1 power, so I don't know if it would actually power it. I always forget. Okay, so then this one is going to be right here. Let's go over here. And we're going to figure out the coordinates like so. So -91, and then go up 1, so the thing has time to fall on the pressure plate. So -91, 47, 291. /tp at e tag equals text. So this is basically what's going to happen every time an event gets triggered, or typically what will happen after an event gets triggered. So once I end up in the doorway, it will activate this text, and I'm going to make I'll just copy it right here. Okay. Copy, paste. Okay. I guess I should store this in the chest in my room. It will look good next to with my collection of goods. So I used, and if you're wondering why I added that, it's to assure the player or tell the player that you're supposed to have something in the chest already. So, or at least hint it. So put items in chest in your room, period. There's their little tip. So now if I go here to the house, should activate the text. I guess I should store this in the chest in my room. It will look good next with my collection. Put items in chest in your room. So I'm actually going to get rid of that chest down there so that the player doesn't get confused on what chest to put it in, and this chest will be empty. So now I'm going to use the scoreboard objective add stat dot add open stat dot. Oh, silly me. I can just do a trapped chest. Wasn't thinking that through. Let me see. Chest, 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 trap chest. Okay, and the trap chest can go through... Need the door back and the block back. Trap chest can go through one block, so I can just put a command block down here with a redstone on top. And, then go back to the redstone and find a new coordinate for the armor stand. There we go. And go back to the house. IE tag equals text to that coordinate. And then go down here and do slash set block tilde 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 to air. So that's going to make sure that the thing doesn't activate twice, like you saw there. And that's usually just because you never know. They could open the chest a second time, and that would just get confusing. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to the redstone, and I'm going to create a couple more texts, but you can see the text moved over here. I'm going to create a couple more text lines and stuff, and I'll show off what I did. Okay, so I created the next set of text to continue the story, and it has to do with when you right-click and activates it, and asks, why is there a hole back there? I'm not going to go into too specific details, but this is when I have to break this, like so, like this. Then I'm going to grab here, here, and now this is what I like. This is another tip. And I don't know what number of tip this is, but anyway, here's the next tip. Don't leave anything up to chance. And that is a very big tip because it has come as a serious issue in tons of 60-minute maps, mine and whatnot, and maps and stuff. Don't leave anything up to chance. And what I mean by that is what I'm doing right now. So what I'm doing right now is I'm getting the coordinates for that specific spot where I want to make a hole. I don't want to break the actual hole, because if I broke the actual hole, what will happen is the players could get drawn by it and go out the back and start following the trail without even going in the chest. So by leaving nothing to chance, as I would say, I am going to take this coordinate, copy it, paste it, and it needs to be one block down so it fills the area to make the hole, and then air. So basically it creates the hole once the player has already opened the chest. So, I mean, they could notice that there's no hole there already and be like, oh, whatever, but they probably won't care too much, won't go into too much detail as to how the hole got there so quickly. Yes, so that's why you don't want to leave anything to chance. I put a lot of text here because I want to make it very clear what the player is supposed to do and what their goal is, and that kind of helps with the story. And the more emphasis you put on certain things and the more amount of time you put into one specific emotion or like one specific thought process, the more the player, like the actual person playing the game, starts to think it or starts to believe it. So basically, the more that you emphasize and build up to my stuff is gone, the more reaction you'll get out of the player, as opposed to just starting the game with my stuff is gone. People won't care as much. But if you make them actually work for the stuff or do some tricks, they could start to feel like more emotional towards the fact that their stuff is gone. Anyway, so now we have that, and the player is following the pathway. Follow the pathway, follow the pathway, follow the pathway. And if they stray off the pathway, then it's whatever, GG, but they're supposed to follow the pathway. Once they get here, we are going to put a chest with a bunch of torches. So this is where we're going to use mcstacker.bimbima.com. That's the right name. Yes, okay. And I use this to generate my stuff, and the site is taking forever to load. Okay. And then go to give, and then @p torch, do it 64, can place on stone. Then torch, Use it to light your path. So I would rather have the player. I do have a command block contraption that has torches where you can hold it and it actually gives you the torch light, and it like actually lights up the torch by setting torch blocks right at your feet. But I'd rather just have them place it because that just makes it take longer, and you know I'm evil that way, and I like my maps to be a little bit longer and make people feel like they have to actually do something. So here's a bunch of torches, and yeah. So now I'm going to also note this as a point. Let me see. Okay, oh, whatever, it's fine. I'm going to go down to the mine shaft. So game mode 3. Oh, game mode. Actually, let me set up some more commands. So I think this is the last set of commands I'm going to be doing on the way to the mine shaft. So what I'll do right here is go right here. There we go. Then take the the block positioning, copy and paste it, go back to the redstone, and this is going to be similar to before. So a lot of these commands like this to detect where the player is. But anyway, so set those up. Get one of these, get one of these. Paste that. Copy that. I want to copy that, paste that. Okay, now we're going to go in here, change the radius, which is the last number here, which is 1, to like 3. So it'll detect them in a radius of 3. And then bring that up. And actually, I'll make it 4 just to be safe. Okay, then set block air and TP ID tag equals text. This time the text is going to go 1 to here. Okay, F3 negative 89 46 to 85. Okay, there we go, and make it 47. And that's all there is to it. Anyway, so I'm going to make some more of the text, and then I'll be back. Okay, so I set up the last of the stuff, and just as I said, leave nothing to chance. It says, a strange pathway leads to before. Anyway, someone left torches. Let's go in there and find my stuff. And then the tip says, use torches to find your way to the culprit's hideout. Hint, it is near lava and looks like a wooden house. That way people don't get confused, rage, you know, whatever. Anyway, so that took me a good amount of time. You can see my thing right here. But I'll be cutting a lot of it out, as you can see. Yeah, so that's all the commands and stuff that I needed to do for the original starting place. And maybe I would also include a couple commands to start the map and have the player spawn right about here and give them some stuff in their inventory to start. Probably no weapons because this isn't really a PvP map. It's kind of a regular based map. Anyway, so the plot thickens, and I will show you guys more, and you'll learn more of the story as it goes. It is really good. I thought of a really good way to kind of end it. So, anyways, if you guys enjoyed this video and want to see more, leave a comment, like it, whatever, and I will catch you all later.